Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Bill. I'm an expat living in the Philippines and I'm a prepper. If you haven't watched my channel before and figured that out, I'm not too sure what to tell you. But I do welcome and thank everyone that's watching my videos. And if you're not subscribed yet, please go ahead and take a look at some of my other content. There's probably something there that will pique your interest and you'll probably want to keep following along with my story. So today, I'm going to show a product I bought, which is the Bluetti EB3A. I forgot the name of it, to be honest with you. Now, this is a small, let me show it to you real quick. This is a small power bank. And there's a couple reasons why I bought this particular one, even though it was, mainly it was on sale. But I'm trying to up my backup power game, and you'll see other videos on that shortly. So part of prepping is to making sure you have the ability to do things. Now, I fully charged this when I first got it. I won't go into too much details about the specs, but I will check some things out for you. I do want to comment, though, that this is the Asia model, right? So it only has one 220, 240 output here at 600 watt. And that's because this particular model comes configured this way. And with the Bluetti, they send you this little multi-adapter, right? So that's the one caveat, is you only have one plug versus some of these US models will have two, but I got one. So on the interface, it's a Bluetti device. I mean, it's much more solid than the review I did on the 200 watt cheap China Jackery knockoff that I also have. But there's a couple neat features about this one that other box just can't even come close to comparing. The first one is it's 600 watts, right? So it's 270 watt hours, but it's 600 watts output on the AC, so which is really cool. Obviously, it's got a flashlight. You can see that here. It's got the standard carport DC out, as well as a couple other DC outs down here as well if you have DC devices. These are 12 volt, 10 amps. It's got your standard 5 volt USBs, and it has a USB-C. The circuit protector I haven't seen before, but I'm assuming that there's a trip in here for inputs, because it does allow for a standard computer cable 220, 240 input. Now what's neat about this is your input cable is just the regular cable you would get from a computer or anything else. The actual transformer inverter is built into the device. So that's kind of cool. You don't have a big brick and you're not relying on a specific cord to charge this guy up. It also has 12 to 28 volt input. Now this could be DC or basically your DC input from solar. Now I did notice that the solar cable that came with this guy isn't really compatible with my panel setup. I'll have to play with that and find out, because I think my DC in should just fit in here just fine, and I don't really need this cable, so that'd be curiosity. I think it's set up for a bigger solar system. The display is kind of nice. It tells you what's coming in and what's going out. Now, one of the cool features about this particular power bank, and let's call it that, is it will take an input and still allow the output at the same time. It does pass-through charging. So that's really cool, because if I got it set up on a solar rig somewhere, I can still run stuff off it while it's charging. I like that feature. I think it's pretty neat. My other box did not do that. It has a 15 watt wireless charging port. Now, I've never used any wireless devices. All my Apple phones that I had were too old to have that fancy stuff, and I don't know what else uses wireless charging today, but it is there, and it has a handle. Now, this thing is not heavy. I will put maybe here the weight. It's not very heavy at all. It's about comparable in weight to the other box that I do have. That's only 200 watts. Now, this does have a LiPo 4 battery, which is, I think, the smallest LiPo 4 battery power bank you can get, which is really cool. I appreciate that a lot. It did come with an instruction booklet, but I haven't even looked at it, to be honest with you. All the specs are in here. I might post some specs on a page so you can stop and look at it if you haven't looked at it already. I got a standard DC charger out. Now, I believe this will go both ways. I believe I can use it this way and charge from my car. So if we're traveling somewhere and the battery's down, I'm almost positive that I can plug this into my car and it will charge the unit at the same time. So which is great. So if you're low bat and you're coming back from somewhere, but you're driving, you can just use your car to top this guy off real quick. And along the same lines, I got a little jump start power kit. Now this is going to be multi-use, right? So it's an output, but I can use this to charge a battery, or I can use this to add an extended battery to this, and I can use this to jump start a car that has a dead battery. So all kind of useful features. It did come with this bag for accessories, which is kind of nice. I mean, you got a bag so you can carry all your gear and stuff in it. What I found interesting was it was coated with this film. Now, I don't know if that's a fire protection in case the batteries do something nefarious, or if this was just an ice chest type bag that happened to be the right size, so they threw that in here. So let me show you a couple things real quick. I'm going to go ahead and plug this guy in. Now I'm holding my camera. I'm going to set it down for a second so we can just get a side view. And I can use both my hands. Stand with me 1 second. All right, so I'll face this towards the camera. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. And you can see that as soon as I plug it in, it knows there's an input. There's no watts coming in right now because the thing is fully charged. But what I wanted to do, and mainly, you know, if you know me, I have a lot of lithium batteries. I want to see what the output here is on this. Sorry, let me turn it on here. Give it a second to register. Oh, I don't want the flashlight. All right, so let's try this again. Oh, maybe I got to turn the DC on here. Hang on. All right, yeah, so I had to turn the DC on. That was my bad. So these batteries are not charged, but you can see that I'm outputting 5 volts, you know, 496, you know, 507. It's right around that range. And it looks like about 1.5 amps from these USB ports, which is standard. So it's 5 volt, 1.5 amps USB. I'm only using 6 watts right now to charge this guy. So it's not even a big drain there at all. So I got this for that. So that's there. Now the interesting thing, I wanted to try at the same time, and I haven't even plugged this in yet, so I don't know the level of charge, but I do happen to have some radios, and part of this device is going to be used for charging up my radios and comms in an emergency situation. Let's see if I can get this to plug in here. All right. Now the AC is not on yet, but if I turn AC on, this should turn on my little charger here. And I don't see any lights to indicate that it's charging here in the front. So did I turn that on? It says AC, oh, there we go. So the AC, it's got a little indicator if your AC is on. Now this does act as a UPS, which is pretty cool too. So if you had a device in here and power went out, your laptop or something, or your Wi-Fi, or any, you know, CCTVs or things of that nature, this will keep those guys running. So I am charging on an output AC, charging my radio, and I'm also charging output here, my lithium battery pack. You know, nothing's changed there. I'm using 14 watts now versus 6, so the battery's taking a little bit for the new radio. And my input's not even doing anything because we're still at 100%. So it's obviously allows the pass through, and it's going to be used primarily to keep USB devices and things charging and running. I'll do another video on the radio and comm setups later. I got a bunch of that stuff coming in. But this box here, I really wanted something beefy that I can charge a whole bunch of USB devices and stuff. If you've seen my videos, you know that I've been stacking a lot of USB lights, the cheap stuff, whatever I can buy online that's cheap. And everything that I'm trying to get, like even the battery chargers, I'm trying to get USB based. So I'm going to use these devices to keep all this little stuff going. You've seen my little folding pads. You've seen my little solar folding chargers. If you haven't, go check out that video. But, oh, I also want to thank one of my subscribers. When I did that solar video, I didn't have one of these USB readers. It was $3. It was really cheap. So I don't know why I didn't have one. I just never thought about it. But I have one now, and I got it going. So now when I do these little reviews, I can show you what's going on with these USB ports. You know, there's not much more to say about this other than it was something I didn't want to spend the money on, but I saw it on sale. It was really cheap. And it's so much better than the cheap little knockoff Jackery one that I did a video on. You should go watch as well. But this is going to up my small device prepping. Now this is 600 watts, so it'll actually run our refrigerator for an hour and a half. Because we don't have a big monster fridge. We have a medium-sized fridge if you're in the US, a normal-sized fridge if you're here in Asia. So it will run that, but now I believe it's only a 13 amp socket, so you're not going to be able to run, you know, anything that's going to pull a big amp on startup, you know, like a washing machine or things like that. I've seen people trying it online, and it just can't handle the switching of the amps as things turn on and off. But I'm really happy with this device. I've only had it for a short time. I'll probably do a review in 6 months on how much I've used it and what's worn down or what's still working. But I highly recommend that if you have like a CPAP machine, or if you have something that you need a little more juice than a 200 watt power bank will give you, this UPS enabled 600 watt Bluetti with pass-through charging, I tell you, at this price point, it's a great buy. I highly recommend everyone that if you have a little bit of extra money, add this to your small to mid-range power preps, and you will not be disappointed. Please leave any comments or feedback down below if you have any. If you want to ask me any questions about this, just go ahead and please do. If you have any advice, let me know too. Remember, I'm not a technical super prepper know-it-all. I'm a new guy that just started prepping, you know, just under a year ago. Because the world's crazy, and all of this stuff is kind of new to me as well. So any advice or any comments, I highly appreciate it. If you watched this far, please smash that like button if you liked the video. Hopefully you did. If you didn't like the video, or if you don't like my content, instead of just belling out, just give me some props. Give me some you know, reasons. Maybe it's something I can easily fix. Maybe you don't like my personality. I don't know. But anyways, if you do like it, smash the like button. If you're not subscribed, go check out my stuff, see if I do it for you. If I'm doing it for you, hit that subscribe and notify so you know when I put something new up. And that is my short introduction review of the Bluetti EB3A. I will have an update later, but right now I got to tell you, I'm extremely happy for the ROI, for the price I spent for what I have right here. That's it. Thanks, guys.